Okay. Should be live, I think. I'm going to make certain. Yeah, looks like I'm live. Stream settings. Okay. All right. Hello, everyone. Let me just send this to the chat so that everybody knows that we're going. Edit that because I should say was. Did it edit? All right. I think I'm live, and I think that people can join. So, welcome to Revival Tournaments, Revival Gaming channel. I'm getting kicked out of my house because my brother has some people coming over, so I don't want to be in here while he has stuff going on. Anyways, we've got 32 gamers. They are excitingly going to participate in the main stage of the DPP Revival. I'm excited to start rolling these matchups. Also, I hope you guys can check out the really cool spreadsheet that I've made for Revival tournaments, which I will be using in this stream. So I hope you enjoy it, especially for the DPP2. Yeah. Anyways, let's roll our first matchup. I usually want to wait for people to hop in. Oh, hey, Ty Carter, how's it going? Yeah, let's roll our first matchup, Ty. Now that you've popped in.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Here we go.
What we got here?
And actually, we got PDC first. PDC first.
Also, I can't see your screen.
Yeah, I can share my screen with you. There you go. So we got PDC.
Awesome.
And PDC will be playing against Crying.
All right. Interesting pairing, to say the least.
Very interesting pairing.
Yeah. I mean, with PDC, he's probably going to. Over under on turn length for each game will probably be starting at like 80 turns. So I'll say that at the very least. But I think Crying is a player who, at the very least, has the patience to at least try to keep up with PC if it ends up being an extended game. I think where things could go wrong for PC would be if Crying. I mean, again, it depends on what Crying brings, right? Like if it's like a explosive game, like just comes out guns blazing, I think that's one way I could see PC getting overwhelmed. But although for Crying, I think this year has been a bit of a mixed bag for DPP, because you obviously had the great ADPL, but then the Royal PL was like a total disaster. So which version of Crying we're getting, I'm interested to see.
Absolutely. I will be rooting for PDC as a completely unbiased tournament host, rooting for PDC. I love watching PDC games. So here we go, though. Let's get the second matchup in. Let's see how it goes. We got Tisio Potente Ow. And I'm
it's already gonna be a good one.
I'm definitely butchering that name, by the way, but it's fine.
Tisio Potente, I think that's how it's pronounced, but I'm not Italian, so.
And Tisio will be playing against, looking like Laurel.
Okay, this is a pretty fun pairing to have in the first round. Like you have because Tisio, he is somebody who can definitely bring out some wild stuff when he feels like it. And then Laurel, Laurel had a whole phase of like where he was just bringing like UUBLs or belows. Like I'm not talking like Clef or Neo Queen variety. I'm talking like like Yon Megas or whatever. Like that's kind of Laurel's thing where like he can bring out the unconventional. I mean, he brought Charizard last year in Invitational, so I think it's gonna be an interesting matchup for sure between these two.
Absolutely. I haven't watched very many Tisio games, but the games that I have watched I've been pretty impressed with. But Laurel's also very good. Laurel actually inadvertently taught me a lot about the tier when I was first starting out, so I'm excited for this matchup.
Yeah.
Let's see the next one. Let's hop right into the next one. It looks like Starmaster?
Okay.
Yeah, Starmaster will be playing against... Malakth.
Oh.
That's a...
all right, that's a classic.
Yeah, that's a classic matchup. Classic contenders, both of them.
No,
not this
I don't
year.
know about Malakth.
Not this year. Not this year, but in general.
Yeah, but Starmaster, he's like holding the top seed in Classic right now. Although for Malakth, he probably already knows what to prepare for, considering Starmaster's builder is mostly PDC teams, which, to be fair, not a bad thing. But anyways, jokes aside though, Starmaster, I think, he's probably just going to... I think he had a pretty solid invitational last year. Like, he isn't going to wow you per se, like with his team choices or techs or whatever, but like very rarely would I have ever seen like Starmaster really make any major errors, especially in this tier whenever I've watched his games. Now for Malakth, I think Malakth's had his highs and had his lows. Like when he's on, he's really on, but on his worst days, he just looks nothing like the Malakth that made Classic Finals a couple years ago. But needless to say, though, I think this matchup will hinge entirely on which version of Malakth we get, because I think Starmaster has a relatively safe floor.
Yeah, for what it's worth, Malakth did make top 8 last year, so he definitely has some incentive to do well again this year.
Yeah.
But anyways, let's hop into our next matchup and see what we get. Still, neither of the play-ins players have been rolled. We got Pel Sweetie for you.
John, yeah. I'm calling him John for the rest of this.
You're fine. And Pel will be playing against Sheik.
Okay.
Just did really well in SPL, I believe.
Yeah, Sheik was a player that we had in play-ins last year that we elevated to main event. Now, John also had a pretty solid DV Revival Invitational run last year, although I think most people will probably remember when him and Deep Lucy had that one gentleman's agreement where they like said no to Pink Blob's Hippo, and like, it was an interesting setup. But John, if there's one thing I think anybody knows him for, it's that he's completely allergic to using the Pink Blobs. Despite that, though, John is a tremendous clicker, and Sheik is somebody who who's been a steady player for the last couple of years until I want to say this year when he really elevated himself in SPL and has kind of taken that next step. Although I think Sheik, he was in DV Cup finals a couple years ago, but this should be a pretty fun matchup, as I believe these two have actually played a couple times. Although I think Sheik, he's mostly been on that Osgood joint. But needless to say, though, we'll see how this. I'm interested to see how this plays out.
Absolutely. I remember loading into a Pel Sweetie for you game in SPL. I think it was 2 years ago, and there was a Scyther. So
yeah. He was playing We Free Kings. I remember that. I covered that live on my channel.
Yeah, excited to see if that comes back out. But let's get this next matchup going.
Yeah.
Elodan, very nice.
Elodan.
And Elodan will be playing against Marcop.
So man, it was either Marshall or Marcop. Talk about a pull for Elodan. Oh my god. But so Elodan, look, Elodan, he's usually one of those guys who's like a contender to make classic playoffs year in, year out. Just a very good Pokemon player in general. I think he actually just a very good all-rounder. For those not to know, I mean, the guy played in finals of this year's GSC Invitational, I believe. Somebody correct me on that, but Elodan had a bit of a mixed bag the prior year, where he won the DPP Cup, but he had a kind of a disappointing exit in Invitational last year, where he went a little bit earlier than I expected. But having to face against Marcop is it's gonna be a tough draw for Elodan. But as Marcop, as everyone knows, is our current defending champion.
Yeah, that's going to be a really hype matchup. I think.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get some good games out of that one, especially if Elodan shows up as the DPP Cup winner.
Yeah.
But let's hop into the next one. See, I'm still excited to see if the play-ins players matchups. So
yeah, let's see.
And that was Django
and
Fudazi. But yeah, Blaze will be playing against Lazuli.
Okay.
Phosphorito.
Yeah. Lazuli and Blaze. This is kind of an unusual pairing, but Blaze, for those who don't know, had mostly been known as kind of an AEV mainstay for the last couple years, but Blaze really has made a lot of improvements, like as a DPP player, like winning seasonal, and just like being an overall solid player in team tours, where that's like DPPO or like RoPO. Although I think Blaze, for better or for worse, sometimes does have a bit of a narrow selection in the builder, although I think she's been trying to expand that repertoire a little bit. So whether we see that in play against somebody who's a fairly proven veteran in this tier like Lazuli is going to be interesting for sure. And Lazuli, who's been playing a couple years, just been like a very reliable DV starter when he does play DVP, because Lazuli isn't always playing DV, but he's always playing some other tiers and tours. But although we certainly saw some interesting polls from Lazuli last Invitational, and Lazuli did have a very solid losers bracket around last year. That said,
absolutely, I think that matchup can go either way. I'm excited to watch it. Hopping into the next one, we've got Mustounet, and Mustounet will be playing against. And I probably said that wrong too. I apologize. Oh my god!
Oh,
holy moly!
Wow. So we got our first French Derby matchup in Invitational for this round one. Mustounet, for those who don't know, I mean, he actually got into main event for play-ins last year, and he was a guy who actually survived the initial onslaught that he faced. Although I think Mustounet has really taken. I mean, he was a long-time player who came back after a long hiatus last year, and he has looked like he has not lost a step. I mean, he was just in a DB Cup semifinals, and then he did come painstakingly close to winning this year's DB Globals. So, probably one of the best French players that we have on the site right now. But now Martial Law, Martial Law is our runner-up from last year's Invitational, and Marshall, ironically, also got a French player last year in round one, and is doing of Sinnoh. But Marshall always been a very unconventional player. He always has some interesting text to bring, like on his teams, and like they're very unique teams, to say the least. least with Marshall. Whereas like Mustounet, he's somebody he's got to play a bit more by the books, and I'm gonna be interested to see how Mustounet tries to adjust to Marshall in this matchup.
Yeah, I'm really hyped for that matchup. That's probably no offense to everybody else, but that is the most hyped matchup we've rolled so far. Mustounet was my player in Roa PL, and he was incredible to watch. So watching him play against a strong opponent round one is going to be very exciting. But we must move on, and so here is the next matchup. Oh, we got fakes.
All right.
We have fakes, and fakes will be playing against. Give me Fudazi, come on. Oh, Django.
Oh,
our first play-ins player has rolled his opponent.
That is a tough pull for Django. Like you got through play-ins, and then your first opponent is fakes. I mean, fakes. No real introduction needed for fakes. This is. I mean, it's easy to just say that this is like a matchup that's overwhelmingly in fakes' favor, but I mean, with fakes, like fakes, he's probably gonna bring like some cleft scarm, hippo, and then he's probably gonna bore you to death for like 200 turns. But I think Django throughout these play-ins has shown that he at least has that level of patience to kind of survive that kind of game. But I think fakes, nonetheless, not an easy draw at all. I mean, of course, Django could also hope that fakes is not near his tractor at all, because that is where the source of his powers are from. But jokes aside, though, yeah, I mean, this is a big prove it matchup for Django for sure.
It's gonna be an uphill battle for him. We are halfway through the matchups. I think there's some really good games in this one so far. I mean, I'm really excited for the Elodan Marcop and the Mustounet Marshall. But we've got 16 players left. A lot of really strong players left in here. So I'm excited to see who they're matched up against. Let's get one now. There's our other play-ins player.
Oh, okay.
There's our other play-ins player, and Fudazi will be playing against someone diabolically hard, I assume. Oh boy. The winner of the first DPP Invitational, Pideous, will be playing against Fudazi in round one.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Pideous is also the only person to have won money in both invitationals. So, talk about a wild draw, but, I mean, Pideous has probably been on fire as far as DPP players go. Like had the fantastic SPL, the sophomore SPL campaign where she bounced back big time after her initial SPL campaign a couple years ago. And Pideous, has really seemed to have gotten a solid grasp, especially on this sleepless metagame that we've had for these last 8 months. Whereas for Fudazi, I mean, Fudazi's a talented player. I'm sure Elodan or No Name probably have something to help him get through Pideous. But with Fudazi, I mean, he's got his preferences, but I think. But as for Pideous, I think Pideous. I guess if there was ever one knock against Pideous would be if Pideous ever gets too cute in the builder, like loading up Venusaur, like Venom off a couple years ago, or like named a shit Mon. But if Pideous doesn't play over food in the builder, I think Fudazi's got definitely have his work cut out for him.
Absolutely. I'm excited to watch that matchup. I know I'm excited to watch a lot of matchups, but like Fudazi definitely had kind of a miracle run through play-ins, and honestly didn't even look that didn't look bad at all. He was talking mad shit about himself and then just kind of crushed it. So I'm excited to watch him play, but I think Pideous will have a strong
he's been
advantage.
reading The Art of War, obviously.
Absolutely. Well, let's hop into our next matchup. Here we go. We've got, looks like Void And
Okay.
Void. And Void will be playing against Ty Carter. It was written in the stars. Never mind. Void will be playing against Deep Blue Sea.
Okay. All right. Yeah, this is a great matchup. Let's see. Although I think for Void, this is probably a good way for him to try and bounce back after a rough SPL. As from the looks of it, like Void had a bit of difficulty adjusting to a metagame without sleep throughout SPL. Like, although I think he didn't have Osgood like helping him. I don't know if Osgood's gonna be around this time to help Void out. But needless to say, though, Void last year he barely missed out on a money finish in DPP Invitational. But Void's one of those guys who like he isn't going to reinvent the wheel or anything like that. He's got usually bring like bog standard solid teams, have a wide selection to pick from, and rarely would I ever see him make any in-game mistakes at all. And then his opponent Deep Blue Sea, Deep Blue Sea, he's coming up. I think he might have been on a bit of a hiatus with DPP, but he's always been like a very creative mind when it comes to this tier. Like he's whipped up a couple cool sets over the years, whether that's like Snorlax with like Lumberry years ago, or some like Crocoon, or rather reintroducing Crocoon. But I'm very interested for sure to see kind of what Deep Blue Sea has whipped up, especially in this sleepless metagame.
Absolutely. And, Void actually posted something really cool last year, which was about, how he kind of proved himself as not just a Betcha 1 merchant. So I'm excited to see how that goes for him again this year. But yeah, playing against a council member first round is a little tough. So we'll see how he does this year. Prove himself again or what happens. But let's hop into this next one. Here we go. 16-bit. And 16-bit will be playing against. It's a forum mod right there. He'll be playing against T-Wash. Looks like T-Wash.
Oh, okay. All right, yeah. You already know the deal with T-Wash. T-Wash is probably gonna bring something wild. T-Wash's vision of DPP, needless to say, is vastly different from everyone else's vision of DPP. But T-Wash had a bit of a disappointing exit last year in Invitational, although he did have some interesting picks, whether that's Star Afterbliss Hitmontop or like Vaporeon and whatnot. Whereas for 16-bit, 16-bit's making his return to main event, because funnily enough, he actually was in main events for Jirachi's CVV Invitational a couple years ago, but and then he had to go through plans last year, but he's re-elevate himself right back. And I did enjoy working with 16-bit throughout Roa PL, so there's that. Should be a interesting matchup for 16-bit to try to navigate, because 16-bit, he's always been more somebody who's got played by the textbooks. Whereas for T-Wash, it's kind of like you're studying for a math test, but it turns out it's a organic chemistry test. That's the best way to describe dealing with T-Wash.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting matchup. Did we know if these two have played before?
Oh, if they have, it's been a long ass time.
Interesting. It's exciting to see in a post-sleep meta how they approach the matchup with each other. All right, we've got 5 matchups left. 10 gamers left to be assigned to a matchup. Let's see one of them now. Christos. Okay. Christos will be playing against Emerald.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
I think
Do you
that's
want
an
to go
interesting
first?
matchup. Yeah, I mean, I think they're both SPL level players. Christos, having played on the Tigers, I believe, was that two SPLs ago?
Yeah. 2 SPLs ago.
Yeah, and then Emerald, I mean, Emerald has been really solid, really consistent, and really active recently, right? He's been doing stuff as
Yeah,
a forum mod, doing stuff as a council member, I believe. I don't remember if he's a council member or not, but I'm
as a
pretty sure he
player.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah, but he's been doing a lot
yeah,
as a
but
player as well, and super strong. I mean, every single time I watch him play, it seems like he's doing really strong. So,
yeah, he's always been a very reliable player. Emerald, I mean, he's kind of showed that, hey, he still got it. He was, I mean, he won this year's winter seasonal, and then he was pretty far in globals, and he had okay. Um, Invitational run. Like, he's always been somebody. He isn't necessarily somebody that you would peg as, like, a championship contender in like these invitational tournaments, but he's definitely a guy who can crush a couple dreams along the way, for sure. For sure, I would say he's like a gatekeeper. I think would be the best way to describe Emerald. Like, if you can beat him, you might have a shot to go far in this tour. Whereas for Christos, I think for me is interesting because we've been teammates for the last 3 DPP PLs. So I got, but I think Christos is the motivation can be all over the place sometimes. I think last year, I think he got a little bit tilted early on because he did have a bit of a disappointing exit, although he also had a pretty rough draw early in the tour, having to pull Void. Ironically, Void was somebody that he played like 4 times in a calendar year, which is like, wild even for DV standards. But Christos, I mean, yeah, he still he obviously has his favorite stuff that he likes, whether that's like like pair spams or like just very defensive teams in general. So I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see how Christos navigates Emerald for sure.
4 matchups left, Ty Carter. One of them is your matchup.
Mm.
You excited? Who do you think you would most prefer to play out of these 7 gamers?
Oh, I don't know. That's
Tough question.
yeah, tough question.
All right. Well, who are you most scared of? Let's find out. Oh man, I set it up. No, I thought I set it up perfectly. Skyrio, SPL MVP,
Okay.
had a breakout SPL this year. We'll be playing against
the rest of your dudes.
199.
Oh, this is a fun matchup. So these two actually, I believe these two actually played earlier in this SPL as 199. I believe actually lost to Skyrio, but Skyrio really had a explosion, needless to say, as a player, because I think before he was kind of viewed as like, he was this alright guy who could go for free K, which was in fact what he went for this in his MVP SPL campaign. His invitational last year was a little bit, disappointing, but then, obviously at I think it was like what 8-2 or 9-2, SPL this past campaign, helping the Raiders win. I mean, with Skyrio, it's like, he's got the whole Elodan repertoire cut in his bag, but even knowing that, it's like that's not gonna stop him, because I think his execution has always been very clean. When I watch most of his games, like there were hardly any times when I like looked at his games where I could say, oh wow, he really let that get away from him. Like, didn't really see it, if at all. But 199, on the other hand, this is a guy that I've probably played way too many times on ladder, for better or for worse. Whereas 199, he's definitely got his vision, whether that's the Hail offenses and whatnot. By the way, check out his YouTube channel if you haven't already. He posts some pretty cool stuff about Hail offenses. But yeah, as I was saying, like he loves his Obama stuff. He loves his Flygons. I think there's like definitely some stuff that can be taken advantage of in the builder sometimes, but I think 199 has a very unique vision for a game, and I think like there were some of his builds that that I showed off this past SPL that really left me with a strong impression. Needless to say, but should be a fun matchup.
Absolutely. Now, surely we can get Ty Carter. Damn it. It's Crystal, though. Incredibly strong player alert. Actually, everybody's incredibly strong in this tournament. What am I talking about? But here we go. Crystal will be playing against
Slightly less damage. He's got a decent shotgun. He's got okay.
Behe. Almost Ty Carter.
Don't touch it.
Yeah, we could have had an all Canada showdown, but it was apparently not meant to be. Behe, we'll start with Behe. I mean, like Behe, he's a guy who can play just about anything, even though his starting roots was in PvP. I think he did actually come off a lengthy hiatus. He did actually get qualifications for the sleep suspect test, which was, needless to say, a relative, I'd say, a fairly difficult suspect test to actually get requirement voting recs on. So Behe's obviously still got it. I mean, he's got the SPLs, he's got the classic playoff appearances. He's even been in Invitational finals, a couple years ago. So Behe's still that dude. Whether he is that dude in DPP, and I guess the question remains to be seen is just how informed or out of shape he is with the tier. But I think we're all interested to see Behe make a huge return, from Invitational after a couple year hiatus. Whereas for Christo, I mean, we all know what Christo can do, although Christo had a bit of a disappointing O2 exit last year, but Christo's always been somebody who has a clear vision of the metagame, and just a very solid builder who's got a lot of great ideas and goes out and executes them. But this is gonna be a fun matchup.
100%. We've got 4 players left. One of them is Ty Carter. Give me Ty Carter right now. Damn it.
Okay, Dridri.
All right, we've got Dridri.
Okay, I swear to God, if I get no name.
You did not.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Dridri
so
we'll be playing No Name 69-3.
Yeah, and I'll be playing SFG. We'll start with Dridri and No Name. No Name, obviously, that's my boy. And Dridri, he's one of our commentators on this channel. Great guy to be around. No Name, he's just a very fundamentally solid Pokemon player. He's one of those guys who's, obviously won DV circuit a couple years ago. And whereas for Dridri, Dridri's been he's not been as active as a player these last couple years, the past year or so. Although I know he's been doing a lot behind the scenes. And Dridri, obviously, his career, I'd say, has been kind of up and down, to simply put. But with that said, though, it's I think No Name's definitely in much better Mon's playing shape right now. He's looked a lot sharper. Obviously, he's in classic playoffs and whatnot. But Mason, did you have any thoughts on Dridri and No Name?
Yeah. Dridri's always a really nice guy, but No Name is kind of him. He's been doing really, really well. I think he really wants to prove himself. He won that circuit in 2024 for DPP, and then hasn't really had a chance to really prove himself after that. So I think he's going to be.
No, he played in DVPL. He played in DVPL a little bit. He played. He did play BO3 a couple weeks too. Yeah. So No Name looked very good. Doing so, and then I guess me versus SFG. I'll refrain from commenting. Basically, if you want to, say your 2 cents,
SFG.
Go ahead.
SFG is really strong, but that guy Typhoon Carter took a game off of BKC last year, so we'll see how it goes. SFG is known for some interesting tactics, but again, Typhoon Carter took a game off of BKC last year in Invite, so you never know what's going to happen. So I'm excited to see what does happen. Yeah, thank you everybody for joining us. This is the main stage matchups. I hope you enjoyed the tournament. Again,
Also,
check out
yeah,
my
place your
spreadsheet. I
bets
hope you
on
like it.
whether Jirachi's gonna call SFG a noob in the middle of game chat mid-match.
Yes, I think that's unlikely because Jirachi is very retired, but you never know.
Yeah, or Osgood. I would take bets for Osgood too.
Oh, that's a better bet. That's a better bet. I would say it's very likely. But yeah, thank you everybody for joining us. This has been Gold Mason and Typhoon Carter. Again, I hope you enjoy the tournament a lot, and I look forward to seeing you in the game chats. So make sure to join the Discord server, and thank you very much for watching.
Yeah.
And then last year.